Hey everyone, Brooke Mahan here from Millennium Perspectives. And today my topic of discussion is the impacts of the elimination of the National Endowment for the Arts. Now these impacts for me personally are very negative, but you have your pick. But to start off, I'm going to give you a little brief history lesson to catch you up on the NEA. The NEA basically supports community education-based programs for kids, and also will support free admission into museums or any kind of musicals for military personnel and their families. In 1965, the National Endowment for the Arts was created by Congress and raised over time over $4 billion to put towards communities in helping the education for the fine arts for children. Now, the NEA makes these arts more accessible to individuals by allowing these families to experience the fine arts. All this information was provided by the National Endowment for the Arts homepage. Families simply experiencing poverty do not share the same opportunity as others to experience the fine arts. The NEA makes these experiences become a reality for these children by providing education programs and let them visit museums and other exhibits that on hand they normally would not be able to experience. So, there's a steadily risk being talked about of the elimination of the NEA. Well, this is brought by our economy experiencing what they like to call a fiscal cliff. Well, the fiscal cliff is basically coined by author Thomas Kenny by a conundrum that the economy will face December 31st. This conundrum is basically a decision that will be addressed December 31st by what will cause tax increases, which will initially cause spending cuts. This will result in eliminating federal funding, which will result in eliminating the NEA because it is a federally funded agency. This will even possibly drive the economy back into a recession, which nobody absolutely wants. This then results into federal cutting cuts all over across the board, not even with the arts, but with everything. So this simply is not just impacting the arts, but the arts are our everything. They're our education, they're our history, they're everything rolled into one simple piece that explains self-expression. Upon eliminating the NEA, we will be eliminating children's opportunities of learning positive self-expression. Without the knowledge children will be provided, they will have a more higher risk of violence or even crime simply because they're not being taught how to relieve themselves or express themselves. Therefore, they're more likely to fall into negative aspects of our culture, like gang violence or even substance abuse. Different things like that can result into self-expression that you wouldn't think would fall into if the arts were eliminated, but it does. It impacts everything. The need for artists will simply decrease as well because individuals experience oppression will not think that art is important because they don't have access to it. This again will send the message across the board that art isn't important, will then decrease the calling for artists around. Also, I feel like the government is sending this message that art isn't important because they're spreading this terror that, we're going to cut funding because it's not important. It is important. Cutting these art funding educations basically is saying that social injustice is okay because the government is supporting the fact that individuals won't have the opportunity to experience these things. Some individuals will because they have better opportunity. Some individuals won't because they don't have opportunity. Well, this is the definition of social injustice, folks, and this is what the government is endorsing. I myself have some specific memories of my first experiences with the fine arts. My dad took me to a musical at the Landmark Theater. It was the show Annie. I went and saw it. For the first time, I realized the joy I felt in expressing yourself in an artistic way. My father, a musician, has simply always expressed the importance of art and the right to express emotions in a positive outlet. With him, he's even experienced the oppression of art that is steadily decreasing now. He tried to have his art as providing music at local gigs and festivals as a career, but now he simply can't, and it relies more on a hobby than a career. I have learned to appreciate art also by taking a class that focused more on the notion of themes within different pieces of art. This taught me the interconnected variations of meanings throughout cultures in art. I myself want every person to experience what I have experienced in learning and loving art. This is why keeping the NEA up and running is so important to me and Millennium Perspectives. Adrian Rich said it well in this text, Why I Refuse the National Medal of the Arts. Federal funding for the arts can be given and simply can be taken away. Now, would you not want your little girl to experience seeing William Shakespeare's epic love story, Romeo and Juliet? Or not have your child hear the smooth sound of a saxophone during jazz music? Well, not every child holds these opportunities. Therefore, not every child will experience these if these programs will be cut. Eliminating funding for the NEA will mean unequal prospects for the current and future generations. Well, guys, this is Brooke Mayhem with Millennium Perspectives, and that's my topic for the day. Think about it and get back to me. Have a good day.